I never imagined that the happiest day of my life would become the day everyone remembered for the wrong reason. Just as I was about to say I do, the church doors slammed open. Every single guest turned around. A woman, dressed in a white wedding gown, slowly walked toward the altar. She wasn't crying. She wasn't nervous. She was smiling. Then she looked straight into my eyes and whispered, "Move aside. You're standing where I belong." The room fell silent. My husband didn't tell her to leave. He didn't even look surprised. But what nobody in that church knew was that I had discovered a secret 3 days earlier. And before this wedding ended, someone's entire life was about to collapse. Stay with me. Because what happened next shocked everyone, including me. My name is Emily. I'm 28 years old. For 4 years, I believed Daniel was my soulmate. He remembered my favorite flowers. He surprised me with handwritten letters. He promised that no matter what happened, he would always choose me. I believed every word. Maybe that's why betrayal hurts so much. It comes from the person you trust the most. The morning of our wedding felt like a dream. My mother helped me into my dress. My best friend cried while fixing my veil. Everyone kept telling me, "You've never looked happier." They were right. I had no idea. I only had a few minutes left before my entire world shattered. As the music started, I walked down the aisle. Daniel smiled at me. Our family stood proudly. Everything looked perfect. Until the massive church doors slowly opened. At first, I thought another guest had arrived late. Then I saw the white dress. She wasn't just wearing white. She was wearing a wedding gown almost identical to mine. Even worse, she was carrying a bouquet of white roses, exactly like mine. Someone in the audience gasped, then another. Nobody understood what was happening. But Daniel did, because all the color disappeared from his face. The woman kept walking, slowly, confidently. Every step echoed through the church. Nobody stopped her. Not security. Not Daniel. Not even the priest. She stopped only a few feet away from me. Then she smiled. "I hope I'm not too late." A few guests laughed nervously. They thought it was some strange joke. It wasn't. She looked directly at Daniel. "Tell them who I am." Daniel remained silent. His silence answered everything. I felt my heart pounding so loudly. I couldn't hear anything else. Then she reached into her purse. She pulled out her phone. She tapped the screen. Then she held it in front of my face. There was Daniel, kissing her. Not years ago. Not months ago. The date was only 12 days before our wedding. I couldn't breathe. Some guests covered their mouths. Others started whispering. My father stood up. My mother began crying. Still, Daniel said nothing. The woman laughed. "I guess he forgot to tell you about me." She stepped even closer. "So let me introduce myself. I'm the woman he's been spending every weekend with." The room exploded into whispers. I felt tears building in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not yet, because there was one thing she didn't know. I had already seen those photos 3 days ago, 3 days before the wedding. An anonymous envelope arrived at my apartment. There was no return address. Inside were dozens of printed photographs, hotel receipts, restaurant bills, private messages, every piece of evidence I needed. At first, I couldn't believe it. I thought someone was trying to ruin my wedding. Then I checked the dates. Every receipt matched the weekends Daniel claimed he was working overtime. Every hotel reservation matched the nights he said his phone battery had died. Every lie suddenly made sense. I cried until sunrise. Then, I stopped crying, because another feeling replaced the pain. Determination. I wanted to cancel the wedding, but then I asked myself something. Why should I be the one hiding? Why should I suffer in silence? While the people who betrayed me walked away smiling, that's when I made a decision. If they wanted to embarrass me in front of everyone, I would let them, because I had something much bigger planned, and they would never see it coming. Back inside the church, the woman folded her arms proudly. She thought she had won. She smiled at the guests. I think the wrong bride is standing here. Some people actually laughed. That hurt more than anything. Then Daniel finally spoke. Emily, please, let me explain. Explain? Explain why he bought 2 engagement rings. Explain why he told another woman he loved her. Explain why he lied every single weekend. No, I didn't need another lie. I needed the truth. And everyone else deserved it too. I slowly turned toward my wedding planner. She caught my eye. Then, she gave me the smallest nod. Exactly as we had planned. She walked quietly toward the sound booth. Nobody noticed. The giant screen behind the altar suddenly turned on. The guests looked confused. The woman looked annoyed. What is this? I smiled for the first time all day. Just wait. The first photo appeared. Daniel kissing her. The second photo. Daniel buying expensive jewelry. The third. Hotel surveillance images. Then came the text messages. Hundreds of them. Every promise. Every lie. Every excuse. The church became completely silent. Even the children stopped talking. The woman slowly stopped smiling. Daniel looked like he couldn't breathe. But it wasn't over. Not even close. The next file appeared. Bank records. Luxury gifts. Vacation bookings. Thousands of dollars. Not only from Daniel. There were names. Different names. Different men. Different dates. The woman's face turned completely white. She whispered, "No." Then another folder opened. More messages. 3 different married men. All sending her expensive gifts. All believing they were the only one. Suddenly, one of the guests stood up. His wife looked at the screen, then looked at him. The entire church exploded into shouting. The woman screamed, "Turn it off!" Nobody moved. Daniel tried pulling the cables. Too late. Everything had already been seen. His own parents couldn't even look at him. His mother began crying. His father walked away without saying a word. The priest quietly stepped back. Even he didn't know what to say. The wedding had become something no one could have imagined. Then something happened that shocked everyone. Daniel dropped to his knees. Right there. In front of every guest. He grabbed my hand. "Please, forgive me. I made a mistake." One mistake? I almost laughed. Months of lies. Dozens of secret meetings. Countless broken promises. That wasn't one mistake. That was a choice. Made over and over again. The woman suddenly pointed at Daniel. This was all his idea. Daniel pointed back. She manipulated me. They started blaming each other. Arguing. Shouting. Insulting each other. The guests watched in complete disbelief. The perfect couple had become strangers fighting over who was the bigger liar. I simply stood there, quietly, watching karma arrive. I removed my wedding ring, looked at it for a moment, then placed it gently into Daniel's hand. This belongs to a man who keeps his promises. You don't. I turned around, lifted my dress, and walked out of the church. No tears, no screaming, no revenge speech, just silence. Sometimes silence hurts people far more than anger ever could. 6 months later, I moved to another city, started a new job, made new friends. For the first time in years, I felt peaceful. One afternoon, an old friend called me. She said, "Have you heard what happened?" I hadn't. Daniel had lost his job after the scandal spread online. Several business partners cut ties with him. The woman disappeared from social media after more secrets about her relationships came out. The people who thought they had destroyed me had destroyed themselves. And the best part, I never had to chase revenge. I simply stepped aside and let the truth do the work. That's when I realized something I'll never forget. The most powerful revenge isn't making someone cry. It's becoming so happy that they realize exactly what they lost. And trust me, nothing hurts more than that.